Hello there, it's Konrad from Homestead, and in today's video I want to talk to you about why we're potting the plants. This is cabbage, white cabbage, and as you can see there's actually two varieties of cabbage. One is just white cabbage and one is pointy cabbage, fielder kraut cabbage. So some of these gonna go into our boxes, veg boxes, and some of these we're gonna offer for sale as plants. They were sown 6 weeks ago in January, and they already kind of outgrowing the tray that they sown into. It's a 96 cell tray, and when they reach certain size in the tray, they first of all they're gonna outgrow the tray. The roots gonna start popping down from the bottom, and they're gonna basically use all the available nutrients that are in the little space over there that they got. So you want to repot them. By repotting them, you're giving them another few weeks, probably another 4 to 6 weeks in the bigger pot, so they can grow a little bit bigger. They're getting fresh batch of compost over here, so more nutrients, more food for them to grow. By doing this, you can wait out all the bad weather, all the kind of worst of the wintry weather that we're gonna have in the next few weeks. And in the next 4 to 6 weeks, that's gonna be April, mid-April, something like this. They should be ready to go outside, or even probably before that, maybe a little bit shorter time. So you're basically prolonging the life of a plant before it goes into the ground. You're gonna have much bigger, healthier plants, or if you want to sell the plants at that stage, that's what you want to do. So we show you how we're doing it now. So like I said, why do you want to repot your plants? You're giving them extra few weeks in the pots, inside, in controlled environment, in the polytunnel in your nursery, whatever you use for a nursery. It doesn't have to be a separate polytunnel, it could be your windowsill. You can repot number of plants. There is really so many. Like over here we do cabbage, you can do different type of brassicas, you can do broccoli, cauliflower, that type of stuff, Brussels sprouts. But you can also do all kind of squash plants, so courgettes, squash, pumpkins, just to make them real bigger and healthier, and so they will have much better chance when they're gonna go into the ground eventually. And also tomatoes, cucumbers, aubergines and peppers, all varieties of peppers. If you repot them like this, you basically giving yourself extra few weeks, and you probably have something growing in your garden beds already. So by repotting your plants, you gaining extra few weeks on the other crop that you have in the ground. So that's what all the kind of market gardeners do. If you don't want to take out your other crop and then wait for 4 weeks or 5 weeks with an empty bed, when we're taking crop out, we usually put another crop straight the same day or following day, because empty beds don't bring any money, so and don't bring any yields. So, and I think it's a good philosophy to apply even at the homestead level or kind of home garden. So increase the productivity as much as you can, and you just reap the benefits later. So basically you get the bigger pot like this. I just fill a little bit of soil or compost, not soil, put a little hole in it, and then Monika is just popping them out from the tray using a little stick from the bottom, and you can see the root system is quite nice, so it holds the shape. So I just pop them in and put new compost around. I don't mind if I cover the first 2 leaves on each plant. They called cotyledons. I don't mind if I cover them. They're gonna kind of die off anyway, and on some of these plants they already start to get yellow, and that's your indication that you should either repot them or put them into the ground. That means they start to run out of the food, so they need extra food, new food, and that's it. Nice and simple. pop them. We have the tray holder like this where we can feed 18 plants, and we just keep going. And one key thing is, even for yourself, for your own observation, and just to avoid any confusion, you want to label them. Whatever you're going to use, is it whatever type of labeling you're going to use, there's so many different options. You can go get it in garden center, online, doesn't matter. Label your plants. So like we have 2 varieties of cabbage over here. They look almost identical. And it's the same with tomatoes and other stuff. They are a little bit different, but they're very similar to each other. So you want to label them, and we usually put our sowing date and our potting date on the label, so we know how much time it took to potting time, from sowing to potting, and then to transplanting. So we can take notes. Do we done it too early? Do we done it too late in the season? Always try to improve on it. And that's it. Once you do a few, you kind of get the feel how much you have to put in, and the plants at that stage are kind of pretty resilient already. They should be, at least. So you want to cover them nicely so they sit firmly in the ground. And when we fit the tray, we water them then heavy water, because every time you take a plant like this and you do stuff like this with the plants, they get little shock, what's called transplant shock. So if you water, and we actually water that tray just before. Okay, so beside the obvious fact, like I said, that the plants run out of the food in original smaller trays, the seed trays, the biggest factor is you're really cheating time. And if you would want to put those cabbages, plant them out now, they wouldn't really stand the chance, too big of a chance in our weather anyway, in Ireland over here. It's still during the night, it's frosty, you have a lot of animals that are still kind of struggling for food. They will be very easy target for any of the animals. And by doing these, we wait another 4 to 6 weeks, and by then most of the frost will be gone. And even if we get the frost, the plant's going to be big enough to kind of withstand a little frost. And the brassicas generally are kind of frost hardy plants. They can withstand most of the frost. So, and you probably have, like we have, winter crops in the ground, so we can't afford to take them out now to put these babies out. So, and all the outside space is covered with tarp, because the ground is basically just, the soil is too cold, maybe a little bit too wet at that stage. So you're just cheating time, you're giving yourself a little bit more time and the plants a little bit more time. That's the key point, while some of your crops are still growing in the ground. And what we use for that, we use the same Slievenamon compost that we're getting from Fruit Hill Farm. We're gonna put the link in the description below to that again, but that we found that works best for us, and peat-free product as well, so it's really good. But you can use any other one. Okay, so we're done over here. We have all of them potted, so we have our white head cabbage, pointy cabbage, some broccoli, and some sage. It's the first time we're actually growing sage, so we're really excited about that. Really happy with the results. So some of them are for us, some of them are for our boxes, veggie boxes. Sorry about the background noises, but we're right next to the dairy and it's milking time, so the girls are quite anxious to go and being milked. And some of them we're actually going to be offering for sale as plants, so they'll be ready next couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So if you're interested, if you're in Clonmel, South Tipperary, Clonmel area, Carrick, give us a shout, put it in the comments, or go to our Facebook page and get in touch with us about that. But that's the first batch of potting plants for this year. We're gonna have much more later on with the cucumbers, with the tomatoes and courgettes and pumpkins and squash and everything else. So we're gonna be quite busy. You see, they take a lot of more space, but they're gonna be going up to another nursery tunnel that we set up recently in the caterpillar tunnel. If you missed that video, you can watch it over here. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful to anyone. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching our channel, Growers Homestead, and please like that video if you like it. Comment below and subscribe to our channel. It's free, so it's definitely worth it. Thank you. Bye. Cut.